Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Fiorentina watch-along. I hope we're all doing very well. We are kicking off at 12:45, so we're live a little bit early, but the game is on MUTV, of course, if you want to tune in for that. Team news, I should be able to get onto the screen for you very, very quickly. I will do it for you now. But Cunha is playing up front. I know that is for sure. And look, probably not. There it is on the screen for you now. Probably not that surprised by that, if I'm being completely honest. I just think I'm eternally grateful that we bought Sesko, because that would be worrying me. That would be worrying me, if I'm being completely honest. Why is this not doing that? Okay, my display here is weird. What's going on here? Why is this doing this? Let me sort this out. Really weird. Let me just, sorry, this should have been fine before I even started. Let me just restart this. Sorry about this, everybody, if you're watching live, but I don't want this to be not doing what I want it to do. So let me take that and pause it, and hopefully that's going to stay on the team. Okay, so it has got Mbeumo up front there. It's got Cunha and Mount. We've got Dorgu, Ahmad as the wing backs, Bruno and Casemiro in the midfield, Heaven, Maguire and Yoro with Bayinda in goal. I mean, I hope that's not the team against Arsenal, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the team against Arsenal. Welcome to Members Club, Jonathan and Andras as well. Appreciate that. You might be able to see my top. There it is. New t-shirts out for the new season on United Stand Shopify. You can check them out. I had the United one on this morning. We've got the Bruno one there. There's a very nice trefoil one with the split in yellow and green on it as well. I think it might be pinned. So check them out. United Stand Shopify. We do ship worldwide. And Bruno is in my midfield and he's in our midfield as well. So what do you think about that team? Honestly, I like the wing backs. I think that is something that we're all going to be very, very happy with. I really do like the wing backs, and I'm not disappointed with the number 10s, to be honest. I mean, Cunha and Mount isn't terrible. It could be Cunha and Mbeumo. It could be Mbeumo up front. They could be interchanging. You can start to see, I think, why, you know, Amorim is probably on board with the Rasmus departure, because it's basically an up yours, isn't it? It's basically like, I'm not even going to use you when Sesko's not here, so you better get a move. It's a strong message to Rasmus that the club wants him gone, and Amorim's on board with that. So what Amorim is basically doing, whether you agree with it or not, is showing us that even without Sesko, I can do this. I can put Mbeumo up front or Cunha up front, and I can put Mount in as a number 10 or Xerxes in as a number 10. I don't need to put Rasmus up front, so let's move him on, which some of you might agree with. I think, as I said on the morning show, there's a very clear indication that the club are forcing Rasmus out of the club, and obviously Amorim appears to be on board with that, with what he's doing there. So I think that whether you agree with it or not, we are showing again, like we did last week, that he's not going to start Rasmus up front. I think the midfield is obviously a huge concern, but Fiorentina aren't very good. I mean, there's just no point talking about that. And the centre-backs probably, and I've got to be honest here, I'm not 100% sure, I'm mentioning Luke Shaw, I'm not 100% sure whether De Ligt is actually fit. You might be able to tell me that. So let me know in the chat there. But De Ligt for Maguire doesn't surprise me, even though he is on the bench. Luke Shaw is on the bench. So Heaven, Maguire and Yoro as the three. The bench is Heaton, me, Delot, De Ligt, Fredrickson, Leon, Shaw, Collier, Mainu, Agate, Rasmus, Obi. So obviously Sesko comes into the equation. Mazraoui and Xerxes still injured. So we are there with that. So look, all in all, I'm not surprised by that team. Give me your thoughts on it. I'm not surprised by it. It's not a surprise at all. And I don't necessarily think it's the team that we're going to see to play against Arsenal next week, if I'm being completely honest. But I think that obviously we've got a real opportunity here against a poor Fiorentina side to score a few goals. How many goals do you think Sesko will score? I'm just going to go through some of your comments here. How many goals do you think Sesko will score, says David. Thanks for your super chat, David. You're one of the first of the day. Appreciate that. I think Sesko will score between 13 and 20 goals in the Premier League, which I'd be very happy with in a first year. Yeah, definitely. So, interesting there. Sorry, I'm just getting a message, something. How many goals do you think Sesko? Yeah, between 13 and 20, I think would be good for Sesko in his first season. Hopefully more towards the 20. Is Sancho to Juve still on? That went very quiet, says Forms. I mean, I'm very happy that it's gone very quiet with Sancho, to be honest. Andy Hale, thank you for being a member. I hope we all have a good season, says Einert. Believer and a goalkeeper, and we have a good chance for top 6. Go Manchester United. I think there was a bit of fake news coming out, wasn't there, before? I know it was mentioned when we were on the countdown to kick-off. I think there was some fake news that came out around Andy Mitten. Somebody put it out there that that Belieber's agent is willing to reduce his commission to facilitate a move to Old Trafford. Man United may offer Brighton players of interest. Man United seeks flexibility from Brighton. Belieber strongly desires to join Manchester United. I actually think it was a bit false that was put out there, because a few people are saying he didn't say that, and you know, that's bang out of order, really. The quote actually was this: I don't think Belieber is an absolute guarantee purely for financial reasons. I think if you say now to United, do you want him? Yeah. And if you said to the player, do you want United? You would obviously get a yes. You say to Brighton, you're going to give a player away for a nice cut price deal. This is not happening, so compromise will be needed. Maybe some of United's players are attractive to Brighton, for example. With the players Man United are trying to move on, they'll likely have to take a wage cut. And the agent as well, they'll have to take less than maybe they would and have hoped for. But this will be all trading we'll see in the next few weeks. So I think somebody's took what Andy Mitten said and turned it into something he didn't say. He's saying the agent might be willing to take a cut. He's saying the player does want to come to Manchester United, but he hasn't said it as bluntly as that. And I think everybody is universally agreed that it will be a very difficult deal to do. But as I've said, and as I said about Sesko, I do think that this deal happens, definitely. I'm absolutely convinced it will happen. I just don't know like when it will happen. That's to do with Isaac, not interested in that. Sesko's at the ground, yes. David De Gea's returned as well, which is lovely. It's going to be great to see him. Also, what else have we got going on here? I want to just try and grab the comments from Amarim, because there was a comment that I really wanted to bring into the show. Don't know what number Sesko is at the moment. There was something from Amarim I wanted to bring in. Amarim's picture of Amarim hugging De Gea. Don't just bloody hug him. Tie him up and bring him into the dressing room. And keep him as the goalkeeper. Don't bloody hug him. That ain't going to do anything. Bloody there. We need him back. Here it is. Big quote. Get ready. Welcome to Old Trafford for our final pre-season match before the Premier League resumes next weekend. This is a very important time of the year, not only to get physically prepared, but above all to make the most of the team time spent together on the training pitch and off it. To build team spirit, I feel that the environment has improved now that all the details are in place to help us progress. The players we worked with last season seem stronger, and we've made some important additions to the squad. And Burmo and Cunha are top-level players who've proven qualities. They're also very humble and have shown great desire to join Manchester United. Leon, of course, is a different kind of signing with strong potential for the future. We can all see that the confidence within the group is growing, and we already feel like a different team. We must always remember how special it is to represent Manchester United, and that it involves achieving the highest standards in everything we do. This includes occasions like today where we welcome Stefano Piola and Fiorentina to Manchester. We must strive to reach our best level every day, because there is only one way to set the appropriate standards for this club. So that would be great. We have got some more quotes from Amrim coming out as well, but that's his sort of stance on where we are. And Burmo's out on the pitch at the moment, just doing some kick-ups as well. I think that there was something in there that I wanted to go back to. Can I prompt myself to do it without going back to the quote? I'm going to have to go back to the quote. There was something in there that really caught my eye that I wanted to bring in as a top topic, and I saw Mbermo doing keep-ups, and it completely threw me. So, where is it? Oh. Calm down, calm down. It's all going on. I don't like it when it's on MUTV as well. It's going to be in 720p, isn't it? So, where is it? What was I going to talk about there? It's disappeared now. How can the bloody quote disappear? Oh, that is so disappointing. I literally just read it. Oh, I'm just going to have to move on. How can you like a tweet and then read it and then it disappears? I didn't even unlike it. That is mad. That is absolutely mad. And it was a good point as well. What was this, what did he say? He was saying that, you know, pre-season players, exciting to play for Manchester United, Fiorentina, midfield. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Casemiro in the midfield, massively confused. Massively confused. I want to talk about the midfield, but I want to talk about the midfield in a different way. When I look at that team, when I look at that Manchester United side, Gary, you know, and I can't even look at that Manchester United side, Gary, because I've got white trainers on. You know, it's part of the Sky contract. And they're so bloody bright, I can't even look at that Manchester United side. I'm blinded by the white. I'm blinded by the white trainers. Gary, sort it out. You know, we've got Sky Bet on overlap. They're paying us bloody millions. Have a word about these bloody white trainers. I can't even look at that Manchester United side. I can't look at it. I'm blinded by the white. They're too white, Gary. They're too white. Can't we wear black trainers? You know, I want to look at that Man United side. When I look at that Manchester United side, I look at that midfield, and I, like everybody else, and I say to myself, I'm confused. I'm confused. Because surely to bring Belieber in, we've got to move a midfielder on. And the midfielder to move on is obviously Casemiro, because we've been trying for 18 months. So I thought over the last two games, he hasn't really, I don't think he started the last two pre-season games. So I'm thinking we're forcing Casemiro out. And then we play this game a week before Arsenal, and he's in the team again. So I'm a little bit confused about the midfield, because obviously we've got this Belieber talk. But starting Casemiro isn't going to make him think, I want to leave. So somebody's got to go in that midfield, surely. Unless, I mean, the contradiction is incredible to me. If we're getting rid of Rasmus and we're going to be light up front, but then we're going to keep Casemiro, Agate, Mainu, Bruno, and get Belieber in, that's an overstacked midfield, an overstacked number 10, an overstacked centre-back, and an understacked striker force. So I'm a little bit confused about what we're doing in the midfield. Torres said, could Agate go? I don't see how Agate would go after 1 year, to be honest with you. Maybe he's putting him in the window, says Harp. Maybe. But the trouble is, Casemiro doesn't want to go. He wants to run his contract down. So I think the best way to get rid of Casemiro is to not put him in the window and make him shit himself about the Brazil team in the World Cup. But look, I don't know. I think something's got to happen in the midfield. And I'm sure something will happen in the midfield. But at the moment, I don't really know. So I see Leon has changed to number 35. So maybe Sesko will take the number 30 and Mark, Belabor and Lemons, or Yulmlin and Donnarumma. Mate, I'd be happy with either of those. I would be absolutely happy with either of those. Thank you very much, Sehen. Yeah, I would. I'd be happy with that, either of them too. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As per usual, please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Seb Osborne says, the idea of signing Belieber now based on Bruno, Sale and Wage, how does getting rid of Casemiro, Sancho, Wage play into that too? Also give Donnarumma a signing on fee to help with the wage structure, says Seb Osborne. Paul Sainthouse, welcome to the members club. Thank you very much. Hey, Shayrog and Mouldy Milkman, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. I don't know why, but I have a great feeling about this year, says Ian Hanley. This year, the signings are great, but I just have a huge belief in season 2. Amorim as well, says Ian. Thank you very much. Nodder says Amorim's downfall / success would be how he handles these 3 players, Ahmed, Bruno and Mount. I don't know, get this love for Mount, but prove me wrong. I need a goalkeeper ASAP. I think, you know what, I do like that sort of analysis, Nodder. I've said it before. You know what? I think that realistically, the Bruno decision was always going to be huge to keep him. He's kept him. That will be defining. I also agree with you on Ahmad. How he uses Ahmad is really important. Ahmad's too important to us as United fans to be a bit part player. He has to be a starter. So you've brought Cunha in, you've brought Mbeumo in. You've basically got to use Ahmad as right wing back. And yeah, we shouldn't be shoehorning Mason Mount into the team, I don't think. But Mason Mount starting a game of football is interesting. Ayush says, cry Deeney and talk shite. Very insightful of Sesko. I don't know what's been said, mate. I mean, I can react to it, but I don't know what's been said. Bruno and Casemiro in midfield to show why we need Belieber, says Alan. Red Smurf has gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, mate. Also says, let's go United. I'm so pumped for the season to start. Years here. Love this community, says Red Smurf. Could we get Donnarumma and Belieber without selling players, says Hackett. Well, we will sign players. We're going to sign players. But we're going to sell players as well. So I don't think it's a case of sell to buy, but we will sell by the end of the window. Garnacho will go for money. How many goals? We've done that one as well. Thank you very much. If you're watching on Twitch, by the way, welcome. You can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. It's free to do through Twitch. Might have to change your name to Goldbridge soon, says MJ Percy. Absolutely not going back. I saw a picture of myself. I mean, I'm sort of biting to the rage break here, MJ Percy, who I shouldn't bite to, but I saw a picture of myself 10 years ago. My hairline's exactly the same. It's just slightly blonder down there, or should we say grey. Paul, anyway, I guarantee you I will not be going bald because I will pay. I'll do a Terry. I will literally go to Turkey or wherever and get a rug. So it just won't happen. It won't happen. I don't care. It's just not happening. I have literally bit all over that, I realise. Thank you very much. Hi, Mark. Is there any update on Sancho and Anthony, says David? No. Mojo's gifted 10 memberships. He's a legend of the chat as well. Also on Twitch, there's been an anonymous gifter of 5 subscribers as well. The Game J Flex is on MUTV. Yes, it is. And also, just get ready to smash the like button and everything, because if this works, which I'm under no illusion why it wouldn't, but it should work. Let me see. Okay. Oh, it's going to work. Right, let me get this working. This is something new for you this year. So let me go there and there. Why is that not working now? That is very strange. There we go. There we go. So I can now go to my phone and I can look at things for you. We're using FOTMob for in-game stats for individual players. Obviously, we've got our stats board, but as you can see, there's the Man United lineup on the screen for you. And if I take you to the Fiorentina lineup, we can get both lineups on the screen at the same time. So De Gea in goal. Who else have they got that's any good? I mean, they're just not very good. Moises Keane plays for them. We were linked to him a little bit. Xhaka up front. They're just not very good, to be honest with you. Have they got anyone on the bench? That's not Martinelli from Arsenal. Yeah, they're just not very good. Fiorentina, to be honest. There he is. Still only 34. We'll just keep him up on the screen for a little bit, just to pay a bit of appreciation to him. But there we go. Move it to the right, Mark. I can't. It's all locked in now. We're just playing around with it. It's all, to be honest, you know what? It's a bit like pre-season for us. We've got some changes coming in for the Arsenal game, so yeah, we're just trying some stuff out here for the new season. Randall McKinney, thank you very much, and welcome to the members club. Really appreciate that. Oh, I see why it does it. Okay, I'm figuring it out now. That's fine. Yeah, you can't see the score, Cameron. Yeah, Cameron, it's a new feature. It won't be there permanently. It's just to bring in the game. Yeah? Just take a chill pill, right? Take a chill pill. Right, I'll turn it off now because obviously some of you just don't like change. Unlucky, you're gonna have to get used to it. But you can see the score now, Cameron. Look, it comes back. It's still there. It's still there. Okay, yeah, what I'm going to use that for in game is to individually go into players and look at their pass success rate and things like that. So, yeah. Right, I've got some quotes from Amrim to come in as well. Thank you very much. So, Sesko will start against Arsenal, says Harry Haas. Cameron's a dimwit, says Bio. I'm excited for the game today, says Aluk. Do you think Sesko will start first game or come on as a sub? I think he's got a great chance of starting the first game, to be honest with you. Thank you to Patatis, Super Salty, Unknown Possibility, and Grand Fornicator for subscribing, and Iktau and Shiny Bold Banana. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for subscribing. You can do it for free through Amazon Prime if you're on Twitch. Get involved. You need a quote for Turkish Airlines. I can get commission, says MJ Percy. Leave me alone. Allison with lubed gloves or Onana. I would rather go in goal with... no, I won't say that. It is still early. Randall, thank you very much for becoming a member. Belieber in Donnarumma, can we aim for top 4 or better? I'm going to ignore the rage bait. Thank you, Ayush. Do you think... Look, I want to make this very, very clear this season. There was a vote by the community on YouTube over the summer that occasionally we get really stupid comments, right? Even if they're a super chat. And I said, I always feel that I want to answer as many of your comments as possible because we are a community. There was a vote on an 8 o'clock show about 5 weeks ago for the community to decide, is it okay if it's a stupid comment just to read it and move on? And it was a 92% who said yes. So it's not me being rude, it's the community just saying we waste too much time on stupid comments. So from now on, it just slows down the flow, as Lee says. The community has spoken that if we think it's just silly, we'll read it and move on. Do you think Mainu moving on instead of Casemiro, says Mason? Yeah, we'll move on. No, I think that's a fair point. I mean, look, all I'll keep saying about Mainu is at what point does he get in the team? Like, I think there is an issue with Ugarte at the moment, and I think we're fully aware of that. But I also think, like, why is Mainu not starting again? If I'm Mainu, I'm sat looking at this game and going, Casemiro's starting in the midfield. And even though it's a pre-season game, it's a week out from Arsenal and Casemiro's starting in the midfield. So if I'm Mainu, and I'm not here to talk about Ugarte, he didn't play well last game, but if I'm Mainu, I'm sort of like going, where do I fit in this team? Mason Mount starting in the 10? He's bloody injured all the time. Bruno's never going to move. He's the immovable object. How do I get in the team? You know? Love the show. Praying for Belieber. Hulman, good backup. Pronounced Hulman, like Christmas, says Magnus. Is there any update on Sancho and Anthony? We've done that from David. Mojo's gifted 10 memberships. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for all the super chats that are coming in as well. Really appreciate that. It's Salmon says, I'm going in goal. Wyatt says, sell Agate. How do you sell Agate? And Babby says, what the hell is this lineup? I mean, are you happy with the lineup? Let us know. How do you sell Agate? We spent £60 million on him not even 12 months ago. It's not even a year. We hadn't bought Agate this time last year. Agate was bought on the 31st of August or something like that. So £60 million player whose book value is probably about £50 million because it's a 5-year deal. So we've probably not even paid 10 million off his book value. So to sell Agate, you need £50 million. Dream on, dreamer. No chance. Absolutely none. So Agate can't go anywhere. He has to stay. Sesko has played 90 minutes in pre-season. Can't see him starting Arsenal. Hopefully he's on the bench as GOAT. Might have been said, yeah, but I mentioned it on the morning show. Apparently there's going to be a game behind closed doors this week that he could play off on. So there we go. Which would be good. Might have been said already, says Sean, but I believe the instalment element to our transfers technically make it cheaper due to our year-on-year inflation, says Sean Taunton. Can you call my mate Jack Shampers? Okay, says Dawid. Will that show notifications coming through on your phone, Mark? Messages from Mrs. Goldbridge. Here we go, says Marty. Stop getting excited. Do you think I'm bloody stupid? And Belieber agent willing to reduce commission to help move, says Ben. Does this mean about TikTok? No, that's all to do with Randall. Rick. Belieber, do you think? Okay, I'm just catching up. My mate says we should play Rasmus a wing-back, says Enchanted Angel. Thank you very much for that as well. Okay, so some people are not happy with the team. I'll come back to the team because we're about 15 minutes away from the start. Am I happy with the team? I like the wing-backs. I'm not bothered about the centre-backs, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure De Ligt's fully fit. And Heaven over Luke Shaw, it's a flip of the coin. So Maguire in for De Ligt, Heaven in for Shaw. I don't mind. Yoro obviously has to play, so I don't mind the centre-backs. Goalkeepers are relevant. Front three, I don't have a problem with, to be honest. I'd rather have seen Cunha and Mbeumo behind Rasmus, to be honest. I don't really like that front three. Actually, I don't like the front three. I want a striker up front. I don't want this bloody interchanging bullshit, to be honest. And I can't wait for Sesko to start. And I don't like the midfield. But, you know, I don't like the midfield because it's fine today. But when we play somebody decent, it's going to get torn a new one. I mean, if you play that midfield against Arsenal, it's over. And I did expect him to be trying something a little bit different. Because that midfield is going to get absolutely destroyed by Rice, Odegaard and Zubimendi. It will get killed. It will get massacred. And obviously I'm being sensationalist there because obviously it might not get killed. It might not. We beat Villa and they've got a better midfield than us. And you never know on any given Sunday how a game can pan out. Nobody can. The amount of times we've gone to the Etihad and thought we're going to get beat and then we don't get beat. So obviously I don't actually think we'll lose to Arsenal. So in a way, I'm sort of being a bit of a hypocrite. But you know what I mean? It's not necessarily about the game next week. It's about across the whole season. That midfield will get absolutely battered. And I also don't think we've got defenders that can step into the midfield apart from Yoro. I don't think Maguire's going to step into the midfield. And I think Heaven is probably a little bit too young for that. So, yeah, it's still a huge area of concern for me. But we are playing a game today that in many ways is irrelevant because they're not very good. You know, they've got a couple of players up front that might cause us a problem in Keane and Sesko and Dzeko. That might be quite interesting, I suppose. But fundamentally, I think it should be a straightforward win for United, and I think, you know, I'm just so glad that we've got Sesko in, because if we didn't, I'd be massively concerned. I really, really would, about what we're looking to do up front. So, yeah, very, very happy with it. And hopefully we'll score a few goals. And hopefully we'll see David De Gea scoring a few goals, making a few saves as well. And it will just be an entertaining last game before we play Arsenal in a week's time. But I want to see some patterns of play. I wouldn't be surprised if Bruno had I mean, I've got my Bruno t-shirt on. Get yours from United Stand Shopify. I think Bruno will have a good game in a game like this, because they're not combative enough we should have plenty of the ball. The Duke says, is the match streaming? It's on MUTV. I've actually got it on screen there. So, yeah, it's on MUTV. Owen Grant, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Dave the Brave says, if the idea is to sell Mainu, it needs to happen before there is a fallout. Learn from Rashford and Garnacho's current value. We're not selling Mainu. I really do think people should just calm down on that. Yeah, we're not going to be selling Mainu. Not at all. NRG says, we're going to kill Fiorentina. Let's be honest. I genuinely think it could be 3 or 4. Really do not rate Fiorentina much this season. The game starts, Osama, in about 10 minutes exactly. So thank you very much. If you're on Twitch, thanks everyone who subscribed. You can do it for free through Amazon Prime. I don't know why the link isn't in there, but I will just whack it in. And you can do it for free there. Thank you very much for your support. Still getting used to that, actually, but there it is. Oh, right, it's because it was for 20 minutes. That's fine. Do that. Lovely stuff. Thanks everyone who's given us a follow on there as well. We're only 30 away from 286,000. Teams on the screen. Bruno won't get subbed. No, Bruno never gets subbed. Bruno don't get subbed. Bruno won't get subbed. Love the community and the humour, says Ayush. Great show. Your morning show is my daily listen during my commute to work. Thank you. Can you do Champers? At the end of the day, if you think I'm going to do Champers, you're absolutely wrong. Because I don't even want to talk about Champers, because we opened Carrington yesterday, and let's just say, me and Sir Alex, we got a little bit carried away, and after copious amounts of, you know what, we were running around with our tops off, replaying 99. I was sharing him at the front post, and he was Solskjaer, and it was just a great night, Champers. Yeah, brilliant. Amrin was taking the corner. He was Beckham. What's the most pivotal moment in your career, says Mr. Mojo? Now's not the time. It's not about me. We're talking about Manchester United, mate. At the end of last season, all hope was gone. Now I'm actually excited to see how we'll hold up the first few games, says Bram. You missed the Carragher. The Carragher one was good. The bright trainers. He wanted to look at this Manchester United side, but he couldn't because of the Sky Sports white trainers. Also, Owen Grant is a new member. Thank you very much for that. If the idea is to... I've done that from Dave. I give it to November for Amram to figure out that Bruno is not a midfielder. And from then on, Mainu and Belieber is the way to go. We haven't signed Belieber, by the way, Casper. Just to let people know. Cola Bear, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. You're an absolute legend. Appreciate you. What channel is the match on? Hopefully Belieber and Donnarumma next, says Jack. Love the show. I know he's the least relevant of outgoing players, but have you heard anything about Malacia, says Jonathan. I've heard nothing about Malacia literally in about a month. Yeah, he never seems to get a mention. Sesko played 90 minutes in pre-season. Can't see him. Hopefully he's on the bench as Goat Smoker. Thank you very much for that. If you are on YouTube, by the way, we're going for 142,000 today. I don't know why that's not changed, but we're only 15 away. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Absolutely fantastic there. I've just lost something, but it will be back. I'd rather see Mbermo where Mount's playing and then a striker up front, says Goal Machine Gaming. Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, I think the only reason Amorim has done that today is to force Rasmus out. They're just trying. Rasmus doesn't want to go. Rasmus wants to stay. And I think Amorim has basically said, Sesko's not even here and you're not starting, so you better go. They're forcing him out of the club, let's be honest. And I'm not against that, but I disagree with it. I think we should be keeping another striker at the football club. Because if Sesko got injured, we'd be seeing this every week, and I don't want to see this every week. It's disjointed to me. I want out-and-out strikers at front. But if we're going to do that with Rasmus, we should be doing it with the clown in goal, not Binder. I mean, he should be fucking gone as well, actually. Why is Binder still here? Sadiq has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Do you think Sesko will be another Rasmus, says Aftab? No, because I don't think anybody's another anything. I think they're individuals. Red Smurf says, Martinez could be an option in the midfield. We have a lot of depth in the centre-back position, and distribution was great last season. It's just got to stay fit. You remind me of Mr. Herbert from Family Guy, says Bob. I've never really watched it, so it's over my head. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Ninja Murray says, do you think we will get Donnarumma? Oh, you've caught me on the spot there a little bit. Do I think we'll get Donnarumma? I think it can happen, and I think it would be stunning. I think it would be our signing of the season to bring in a striker. To bring in a goalkeeper of that quality would be, you know, absolutely stunning. There's no two ways about it. Now, I've probably, in previous years, have been quite, you know, downbeat about signings when I really think that they're not possible. And I said about Belieber, I don't know why people are talking about Belieber, because we're not in for Belieber. But the minute you're in for them, that's when I start to get very confident. So I think with Donnarumma, I sort of look at it and I go, well, look, there's a lot of talk about Donnarumma, but we've had nothing really from anybody. I think Romano may have said something, but we've not really had anything of any sort of notoriety yet. It's a big deal to do. I don't think it will happen, but then, you know, it's been a weird summer. It's been a weird summer, not just for United, but for a lot of teams as well. So you never know. It could happen. Bedrock Breaker says, do you want Rasmus to stay or go? I do want him to stay. There's 2 reasons I want him to stay. I want him to stay because we've got the... I want him to stay because he wants to stay. And I think a motivated player that's got something to prove is important. And I think with proper players behind him, he'll do better. But remember, he would be the backup striker as well. Like, he would be the bench striker. He's not the starting striker. So I think that's more valuable than not having a striker. Because I look at the last 2 years and I think, you know, whatever you think about Rasmus, we never had a backup striker. So for Sesko, we're not going to have a backup striker now. We're going to have to play false nines like Xerxes and Bruno or Mbermo. I would keep him, yeah, but I don't think we are going to keep him. We take for granted our technology. I'm streaming on an airplane from Dallas to San Diego. Love the community, says AJ. Well, you're in a very good position then, because I flew from New York to the UK and all I could do was tweet. I'd have struggled to stream anything. So at least you've got decent decent Wi-Fi on your plane. You won't see Mount start on bench versus the big 6 much, says Robert McCormack. Robert McCormack's new favourite is Mount, by the way. I've played the game, says Maxwell. Change of question. Most pivotal moment in Man United fall-off, says Mr. Mojo. Sacking of Mourinho. I think that was a mistake. The sacking of Mourinho was the most pivotal point in our fall-off, because we were already falling, but it was the start of player power, and it was the biggest mistake. I agreed with Jose out at the time. That's the whole point of pivotal. You may make a mistake and realise that was the mistake, and we did. We did make that mistake. So yeah, I think it was. I think that moment was the moment for me, because it also, we didn't know at the time as well. We knew, you know, for me, Mourinho got sacked because of the bad results, quite rightly. But we also didn't realise at the time that player power was a thing. So I think that was a pivotal moment. Yeah. Sesko, here we go. Number 30 confirmed. Leon changes to 35. Thank you very much, Jacob, for letting us know about that. What's your thoughts on Sesko to Manchester United? My thoughts are that I think he will be a good signing for Manchester United, and I think he will be a success. And I think some people don't agree with me on that, but I do. I think he will. Nigel Brooks, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. He's on the pitch at the moment. Yeah, United are streaming in 720p again. MUTV in 720p. Something needs to be done about that. I mean, I can't explain to you how bad 720p is. Probably never really going to... I mean, look, we're on Twitch and it's, what, 1080? I don't know what it is. And it will be the same on YouTube. So the United stand is streaming in better quality on 2 separate platforms. I don't know why they do it. I really don't know why they do it. Mouldy Milkman says, I'm on 2% on my phone. Should I go and charge my phone? 100%. It just makes it hard. I mean, it makes it harder to be able to tell who the players are. That's what annoys me about it. Because you get so used to it, don't you? Okay. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks everyone who's subscribed. Love that. Players are on the pitch here. Look, I think this is going to be a great game because you've got David De Gea in goal. He's going to be busy. And hopefully we're going to score a few. And hopefully David De Gea has a worldie as well. Sesko walking out as a Man United player. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, really? You live these transfers and it's not till you see them walking out, applauding the crowd, that you go, shit, he's actually going to be a Man United player. And the same thing as well. We're going to get to see... Oh, there's De Gea with his daughter on the pitch, getting a proper send-off as well. Love that. The treatment of him was not good. But yeah, it's great to see Cunha and Mbeumo as well. First time at Old Trafford. Love that. If you want to subscribe on Amazon, on Amazon Prime, on Twitch, you can do it for free with Amazon Prime. We've pinned the link in the chat for that. Samuel says the MUTV quality is a disgrace. Look, there might be a genuine reason why. I don't know why, but there might be a genuine reason why. Bruno's going to give David De Gea a picture. I mean, look, this a bit. What I would say, this is a bit like Carrington. This is a bit like a new Carrington. Long overdue, but nice to do it. Because it should have happened a long time ago. So he's going to get he's getting a picture here. Can the commentators shut the hell up? Why are they announcing the players like seriously? Could not have been louder if they tried, says Ollie. Oni, thank you very much and welcome to the Members Club. Donnarumma might demand 400k a week, says Anand. Alonso Robinson as a name, yes or no? Why or why not, says Robinson Crusoe. Sesko near number 30 confirmed, that was Jacob. Mark, feel good today and I hope you are too, says Brody. I'm glad you are, mate. I'm glad you are. Oh, I'm looking forward to this game. We're going to really struggle during the AFCON. No Mbeumo, Onana, Ahmad Mazraoui, says Liam. Just saw Donny van der Beek collecting trolleys in Asda, says Chris. My preference was Ollie Watkins, but now that Sesko is here, I'm 100% behind him. He's definitely better long term. Can't wait to see him put one past Raya next week. Good luck for the next season, Mark, says Curtis7. Hope you're doing well, pal. Thank you very much. Nice to hear from you. AJ says, we take granted... done that from AJ. George says, we're shoehorning players in again. Can't do another season like that. Right, where's my timer? Bit of a late start to the game. 720p is terrible. You know, the funny thing is, if you are watching it illegally, the illegal sites probably have got better resolution. We need to stop talking about it. But I don't know why they do it in 720p. Is it a cost thing? Crazy. It's on MUTV. The quality ain't great. Right, let me just get... I'm waiting for the game to start here. And Boomo's going to... God, I've got glass... I'll tell you what, I don't need glasses. I need a bloody telescope from NASA. It's tough. It's tough. Sesko's not playing, no. He's only just been announced as a player. He'd be in training from tomorrow. Or probably Monday. I'm going to go Man United 3 or 4-1. They're capable of scoring goals with people like Keane and Dzeko, but I don't rate them defensively or in the midfield. So we're up and running. Should be a straightforward win for Manchester United. We go for length with a big kick from Bienda. But I believe they've played a couple of games in England. I think they lost to Leicester. And they drew with Forest, I think. Hilly, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that. Bedrock says, good prediction, Mark. But watch out for Desco. Lawrence says, is your career mode coming back? Well, it is coming back because it's the first time I've ever had a beta code. So I've actually played the game. I've played the game. I can't believe I haven't told you that. I've actually played EAFC 26. I played it a little bit yesterday, actually. So it will be coming back. Haven't played it enough yet to give it a proper assessment. And I was playing on easy. So Ahmad's playing in an interesting position here. Oh, no, he's not. I thought he was... I've just got my bearings wrong. He is playing right wing back. I thought he was playing in a different position. United should give David a testimonial, says Slazy. I think in a way this is that. Will we see Sesko against Arsenal, says Riley? 100%. I just don't know whether he'll start. Ryan Dwyer, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. I think creative wingers this season will lead to more goals. I think we'll win against Arsenal, City and Chelsea, says Gaurav. That's one of those comments that you just move on from quickly. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Just makes you think what we could have done in the transfer market if we'd won the Europa League, says Ray. Here is De Gea. We're going to press him or what? Thank you very much. I did read something today that if we had missed out on Sesko, we would have gone for Watkins or Jackson. That's just too big a risk. I'm very glad we got Sesko. What's his name? 275. Thank you for subscribing with Prime. No believer in the Brighton friendly today. Interesting. Sound like Yoda. Well, crap Yoda. Raki says, I'm mad right wing back. It's open side for Fiorentina and it's all about Yoro's performance. What's his name? Thanks for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate it. Hey Mark, says Alex. Hope you're well. HHH has had to turn off the MUTV commentary. Mate, I'm surprised you lasted 3 minutes. That's what she said. Liam's not happy about 720p in 2025. I can just about tell what's going on. It's a bit like watching sensible soccer, actually. Old timers are used to this sort of low-level graphics. But you youngsters, it's tough for you today. You won't be used to like the crap that we used to have to watch. I mean, God knows what we used to watch on the TV. Standard in the 80s. Fiorentina on the attack here. Nice to see a game at Old Trafford. And they nearly scored. Deflected cross into the box. And Keane for Fiorentina. A little bit flat-footed in the midfield. And Burmo through the midfield again. Cross deflected up. And, yeah, I think it just dropped, unfortunately, between Maguire and Yoro. And Keane got the jump on them both. And he probably should have scored, really. Terp says, is that Kai Sennett playing for Fiorentina? It's not even funny. Belieber, says Connor. Jack, lad, thank you very much for joining the members club and subscribing. Is Luke Edwards reliable, says Hayden. Is he the one who's talking about Isak? I'm just looking at the front three. Who do you think's playing as well? I don't know what we're doing in the front three. It's tough to tell. Benjamin's watching in 480p. You may as well take it. 480p. 480p is basically the fucking radio, mate. You're just listening to the audio. Brian Dale says, is this Mount's last game starting? Not according to Robert McCormack. He'd be starting lots of games. Jack says, as a Newcastle fan, he is not reliable. He's Telegraph, isn't he, Luke Edwards? Jube says, we need Belieber. It's not even a joke. Sir Jim used ChatGPT for De Gea's artwork, says Leocardio. Bit of a slow, bit struggling again in the midfield here, first few minutes. You know what? You just struggle to get hold of the game. That's the problem. You struggle to get hold of the game. Dan Harding says, Rasmus is definitely gone if Mount is the striker. It's hard to tell who the striker is. It's like Mount's playing in between, but then Mbermo's playing highest on the right. Yeah, we're only 5 minutes in. Let's not stress too much. Greg says it's not a surprise anymore that the midfield struggles. Thing is, though, like your boy says, roughly how many goals and assists do you think Cunha can get this season? And the thing is, you put Cunha in that Wolves side, and what did he do? I don't know. Was it like 25 goals and assists in the Premier League or something like that? In that system, that works. If you don't get a lot of the ball, you can't do that. So it's not as simple as saying Cunha got 25 goals and assists in the Premier League last year. Let's put him in a Man United side and he'll do that. The system and the way the players around him operate have to afford him the opportunities to do that. He got 15 goals and 7 assists, says Cameron. So we've bought him to do that at Manchester United, and hopefully he will do that. But it doesn't always work like that, does it? Like, if you look at the first 7 minutes, I don't think we've actually had a shot yet, have we? In fact, they've had the best chances. They've got a corner here. And it's a goal. Absolute shit start. Absolutely shit start. Like, we should be 1-0 down and we're 1-0 down. Absolutely crap. Like, we've started... I mean, look, it's pre-season, but it's crap. And who's marking him? Because he's number 16. And who's marking him? He's completely unmarked. They're unmarked on the back post. There's 3 players on the back post unmarked. Absolutely shit. This is... It's just crap. Like... You know, there's 3 players on the back post. He's not even on the back post. He's about level with the penalty spot. Absolutely unbelievable. Dracula FC, exactly. They're all bloody terrified of crosses. My God. That is shit. That is bad. You know what? We can say it's pre-season and maybe we'll go and win the game 4-1, but that's still massively concerning Because imagine a game where it's 0-0 and it's tight, and then you don't mark the back post and you lose 1-0. Those sort of things worry me a lot, because when you've got a corner, structurally, it's a piece of piss. Like, I don't even know what we're doing. We're not zonal marking, are we? You can't be zonal marking when you leave that much space on the back post. Well, Fiorentina aren't that good, but at the moment they look like bloody prime Barcelona. I don't think you can blame the keeper at all. Here's Ahmad down the right-hand side. Might be a kick up the arse. Guna95 says set piece FC coming next weekend as well. I mean, look, if I was analysing that goal, I'd need to go back and analyse it. But I do think, like, Mason Mount's the closest person to the ball. Never been good in the air. Ahmad's the right wing back. Very, very small. I mean, have we just left the back post weak? Even Donnarumma has no chance with this defence as MVP'd. Well, I mean, you want to see... you want to see David De Gea getting some challenges here. I mean, what worries me is that I don't think Fiorentina are very good, but they're pinging the ball around. We make teams look really good. Ball over the top there, but he was offside. Mike K says it's pre-season. Mate, it's 1 week away from playing Arsenal and we're playing shit. Like... And pre-season's very important for Manchester United because we were shit last year, so we need to see something. I don't see anything in the first 10 minutes that's different from last year, and that is a worry, a game out from Arsenal. So we need to start seeing something in the next 80 minutes. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner to do that. Let me catch up on some of your comments. Here we are down the left-hand side, first of all. Dorgu. Into Bruno. Bit of possession in the final third. And here's Dorgu again. And the cross is good, but it's cleared away. Nice to see a cross coming into the box. Johan says, the midfield is struggling, and the reason for that is because of the system. We lack numbers in there in favour of the extra centre-back, and it's worrying. One of those centre-backs, Johan, has to step into the midfield or Bruno will never work. We spoke about it after the game against West Ham. One of the centre-backs has to step into the midfield or it will never work. You can't just leave Maguire, Heaven and Yoro to deal... You know, most teams have 2 centre-backs. We've got 3. So one of them has to step into the midfield. Has to. Bruno doesn't captain the team, says Keel. Bruno is not a midfielder. It will not work, says Man UFC. Irrespective of our strength on paper, defence really needs to wake up, ready for the season, says 1 Inch Wonder. How many back post goals have we given up in the last 10 years, says Mario. Why drop Rasmus for a number 10, says Cannon? Because we're trying to force him out. Nevster says, did you see my previous chat, Mark? I'll find it. We need an engine in the midfielder, says Christopher Bell. Well, that's what we're trying to do with Belieber, isn't it? Here's Dorgu again. Into, I think it was Cunha. So hard with 720p. I think that was Casemiro. Dorgu again. And Fiorentina clear it. Luke 1997 has gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Luke. Rasmus definitely gone if Mount's the striker, says Dan. Red Devil says, I'm sitting at the wonderful beach in Croatia listening to you. Thanks for the good work. Let's go for Belieber and Donnarumma. And then we'll be in the Champions League. Yeah, I think this is where reality bites, though, isn't it? People start talking about signings and think everything's going to get solved. We still got most of the team that started the Europa League final that weren't good enough. It's not necessarily about the new signings. It's about how many players are still left. Paramvia says, Mount is number 9 and Casemiro starting in 2025. He's being sarcastic. You ever play Football Manager? Also still want that signed book? We'll send you a nice bottle of red as thanks for sorting it, says Nevster. I have played Football Manager. I haven't played it for a while. Now we get to see if the player's mentality changes, says SJW. Well, yeah, look. Pre-season and we're losing 1-0. So let's maybe use that as a challenge to prove that we can be better. Ben Thompson says, our current midfield and central centre-backs are the 3 oldest players at the club, not mobile enough in the centre of the pitch. Thank you, Ben, for your super chat. And Perk says, our set-piece coaches really should do better. We haven't known how to defend corners for years now. Fair point, well made. So 15 minutes gone. United losing. And deservedly so. Keane had a very good header about 2 minutes before that. Conceded from a corner. Casemiro so slow. He's got it now. Crap. I mean, he does everything in slow-mo, doesn't he? I mean, you got these idiots who, at the start of the season, were saying he's so lean. He's so lean, he's going to be cooking. He's sponsored by George Foreman Grill. He's going to be cooking. He's so lean. He's so lean. I mean, that Casemiro on the ball then, it wasn't even slow in the tackle. It was slow on the ball. He's got the ball, and then he plays a pass so fucking slow. He thinks he's playing against West Ham still. Yeah, it's not. If I'm Agate and Mainu, I'm looking at this and going, I'm in trouble. If I'm sat on the bench for this, I'm in trouble. If they're looking at Belieber, I'm in trouble, you know. Hi, Mark. I'm seeing early stages of a good relationship between Dorgu and Cunha. Yeah, well, I think Cunha's going to be a good signing, and I think Dorgu looked very good in pre-season. They're still moving it around. Just going to have a quick look here at what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, you've got the stats going around there anyway, but let's have a look at Casemiro. I mean, he's got an 83% pass accuracy. Got long ball. I mean, it's early in the game. He's one of his, I mean, look, that's the sort of thing Statman, what's his name, would knock one out to. But this is why stats, this is why I don't do stats. Because you'd look at Casemiro's stats and say, he's made 100% long ball, 100% tackles, 100% ground duel wins, and he's got an 83% pass accuracy. So this is what I mean about these hipster stats people. The eye test is all that matters. But we haven't had a shot on target. That's the main thing. I mean, Ahmad's just not in the game, is he? I'm not saying that they're accurate player ratings, but he's just not in the game. And he's just hitting a long ball over the top there that Mason Mount's never going to get. If you've not used FotMob, by the way, you should download it for free. You can also check out news on there as well. So Transfer Centre, Sesko, classed as the top transfer, better than Luis Diaz. There we go. Barcelona ready for Kane? Whatever. I'm looking for Belieber. Oh, yeah. Anyway, check it out, FotMob. FotMob. There we go. Stats are like bikinis. They reveal a lot, but not what you want to see, says Raj. I think there are certain aspects of stats that are very interesting, but there are also, like Casemiro's not having a good game. Thank you, Ronald, for the MG. I like that. I've always liked that one double left foot. I just look at Manchester United and I just constantly don't see. And this is proper analysis. So let's see what happens with Ahmad here. That's not the right pass. That wins a free kick, but it's not the right pass. I constantly watch Manchester United, and I'm talking about probably 2.5 years, and it's the relationship between the defence and the midfield. It's non-existent. You know, when you go out, you might be going out for a meal tonight. When you're going out for a meal tonight, look at other tables. Do you ever see a couple that they're together but they're not? So, like, and you can sort of keep an eye on them for the whole hour that you're in the pub or the restaurant, and they're like this. They're not really talking, and they're like this. So they're together but they're not. And that's how I look at Man United's relationship with their midfield and their attack. There's just no cohesion between the two. And there hasn't been for 2.5 years. And it makes it really hard to watch because the good teams are in synergy. There's a relationship running through the whole team. And we just can't build relationships. We can buy exciting players, but we can't build relationships. And look, it's not the start of the season yet. And it's certainly not time to panic. But we can't build relationships. Everything we do, and I'm talking 2.5 years, and there is a reason I'm going to come back to that. It's sporadic. It's moments. We just don't look fluid. We don't build patterns. We don't look like, I know we get the winning team photos, and I know we get all this like positive talks, but when you actually watch us play, you get an immediate bump down to earth because there's just, in the first 20 minutes, I haven't seen us have one passage of play that have gone, that excites me. Nobody seems to know what they're doing. And I think that comes down to players. I think it's players. I don't think it's manager. I don't think Ten Hag was a bad coach. I don't think Amorim's a bad coach. I think we keep too many players that we need to move on. And I've said this before. The bomb squad, as they call them, Rashford and Garnacho and Sancho and Anthony and Malacia, what were they actually responsible? They need to go, but what were they actually responsible for in our worst ever Premier League season? Malacia wasn't here, Rashford wasn't here, Sancho wasn't here, and Anthony wasn't here. So the one player we're blaming for last season is Garnacho. Well, come on. He didn't even start the Europa League final. So we've retained a lot of players that were shit last year that were pretending are good enough. And I'm not saying who should have gone, but we're almost living a lie because we've retained a lot of players from last year and bought a few new players. Mitch Braveheart, thank you very much for becoming a subscriber on Twitch. Appreciate that. You can do it for free through Amazon Prime if you have it. Nice ball by Bruno. That's a good ball out. It wasn't Bruno. Was that Mount? I can't tell. I think it was Bruno into Dorgu. Was it Bruno or was it Mount? It was Mount. So it's 720p. It's hard to tell. It was Mount. Thank you. It was a good ball by Mount into Dorgu, and then he receives it back. Intelligent ball by Cunha. I mean, that was actually quite good. Wins a corner. Bruno takes it. And we've scored. Oh, again, I'm sorry. I'm sort of looking at whether there's a foul. AJ Tills says, hello and welcome to my best mate, Joel. Casemiro scores. Well, he's still bang average, mate. Let's have a look. I think it might be an own goal. I'm trying to see. The quality's so bad. I think it's a foul. I think it's Xhaka. Yeah, it's an own goal. It's an own goal. Yeah. Yeah, definitely an own goal. 1-1 from a corner. So there we go. So 2 goals, both coming from a corner. Well, now people are saying it was Yoro. MUTV thinks it's Casemiro. Well, you can't blame them. They're watching in 720p. I reckon it was an own goal. There was 4 for mate. It's pre-season. You're not going to get fouls. Crimea River, Fiorentina. You're not going to get fouls like that in a pre-season game. There's no VAR. Well, we're playing a little bit better now. My 4-1 prediction could still be coming through. Dorgu having a good game again. A lot more space now. Maybe the fitness will come through, actually. Here's Ahmad. Wins a corner. Oh, it's gone for a goal kick. False 9 kills Cunha and Mbeumo. Roll on Sesko, says Lewis. Yeah, I mean, look, we're at least we're not losing anymore. We're back level, but yeah, the fluidity isn't there. The relationships between the front three. I mean, Mason Mount as a fucking striker is incredible. Bad kick out by De Gea. Oh no, I thought it had gone out. It's a good tackle there. That was Casemiro, to be fair. And Mbeumo into Ahmad. Cuts it back. That is a corner. Good tackle by Casemiro to get that going. And Mbeumo feeds it to Mbeumo. This is where having a right foot's not having a right foot's a problem. I mean, he did put it, to be fair, it wasn't a bad cross from Ahmad with his right foot. At least he took it on. Well, we wanted to see how we did when we fell behind. Better this than Arsenal, I suppose, says Sean. Robert McCormack says Mount's been the best player on the pitch. Robert, when you mention Mount, you fall into the category of... I'll just move on. Nemesis, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Thank you very much. And Michael Ferry has gifted a membership as well. Thank you. T1 says Chelsea are going to win the Premier League. I'm I mean, I'd rather Chelsea win it than Man City or Arsenal. Sorry, Man City or Liverpool. I think it will be one of those four: Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. And if I was picking a winner, it would be Chelsea or Arsenal out of those. But another corner. See what happens on this. This is Ahmad taking it in with his left foot. Jay says, how's your FPL team looking? Bare. I haven't even looked at it yet. Short corner. Oh, that was a good save by De Gea. We should have scored that. It's so hard to see. I'm apologising because it's hard to commentate on a game that you can't see. And the cross came in. It's like watching tennis in a blizzard. It's really difficult to see. Like, the ball's really small. Right, cross comes in from Mbeumo. Yeah, good save by De Gea. But I still don't know who heads this. Looks like Yoro. Yeah, I think Yoro heads it and De Gea saves it. Ina says, what number will Sesko get? I think he's already been given the 30. From what I remember. Brutalist, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. John says this isn't even 720p, this is 480p. No one seeing Ahmad doesn't work as a wing back. He should be as a sub 10 and Mbeumo as a wing back. Ahmad is like Anthony, doesn't pass and can't defend. Well, there was a very good comment before the game started. I don't know whether anybody saw it. And they were like, there's 3 positions that are going to define Amarim's future. Bruno in the midfield, Ahmad as a right wing back, and the overuse of Mason Mount. And if he gets them wrong, he's going to be in big trouble. And I think there's an element of truth to that. Ahmad has to work as a right wing back because we've bought Cunha and Mbeumo. Bruno has to work in the midfield because he's bought Cunha and Mbeumo. So those two, yeah, definitely. And we cannot play Mason Mount as a false 9. I mean, this cannot happen, and it won't happen because we've got Sesko. I didn't know internet bill was part of United's cost cutting. 720p is a joke, says Sebi. Honestly, I can't stand this favouritism anymore, says Mads. False 9, done that. Right here, right now, Yulmlin or Belieber, says Joshua. Belieber. United's biggest regret will be not selling Bruno, says Alexander. It's unbelievable, says Viking Crypto Warrior. I don't care how much Belieber's cost, he's a necessity, says Farist. Sorry to ask, but what was the app called, says Camille. FOTMob. I'll be on it again in a moment. Dr. Pepper or Pepsi? Pepsi. I like those either ors. Just wondering if we're spending the 100 million we're getting for Bruno next year. Now we still have a lot of rubbish in the team, says Man UFC. This is why I don't run away with transfers, because there's still a lot of work to do with that team. Fiorentina on the attack here. Dave the Brave says Sesko's agent is in the car park with the engine running. Sean Atwood says the game is so stop-start, slower than an NFL game, and Burma needs to get in the game. Good play by Keane. I believe the lack of confidence in either goalkeeper affects the outfield play and players' mentality. A strong goalkeeper builds confidence in our attack. I agree with that, Tyler. Thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate it. Moises Keane there, sending Ahmad. I mean, defensively, I'm not going to criticise Ahmad because that's not really what he's in the team for, is it? Thanks for all your super chats, by the way. Really appreciate it. We'll read those out. Premier League predictions on That's Football will be on Monday, Prabhu. Bruno is our new Rashford. Stuck with him on 300k a week. Says, look. Manicanian has gifted 10 memberships. You're a legend. JJ says, another injury here. Fiorentina are dropping like flies. Are we playing with a 3-0-3? Spend 200 million on Belieber if we have to, cause that pivot is on the brink of being disabled. No control because of it, says JJ. Louis says, who do you think's doing so well so far? If you can see. Dorgu's definitely doing well. I think Cunha's done quite well. It's very difficult to tell the difference between Cunha, Bruno and Mount in 720p. But definitely Dorgu's done well. And I think Cunha's had a good game as well. Does Sesko change this team that much? Very worried. Well, Patrick, he changes this team a lot because Mount's playing up front. So he definitely changes this team a lot. Funky Donkey, welcome to the members. Sorry, so thanks for subscribing on Twitch with Prime. Thank you, Nefa. Aditio says covering the back post is still an issue. Bruno is our new, done that one as well. If we finish top 3, you've got to dye your hair red, says Alonso. I'll happily commit to that right here, right now. I ain't worried about that. Trust me. I'll do it. I'll take that. We need right-footed right wing back to combine well with Mbeumo. Bruno and Casemiro not able to control the midfield, says Anil. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you on that. 10 minutes to go to half-time. 1-1. Would you make changes at half-time? I'd stick Rasmus up front. Give us a bit of a point of contact. Mason Mount up front is just incredible to me. We seem to be shoehorning players in again, don't we? I mean, I think Bruno in the midfield is a little bit of that. I think Mount as a false 9 is, again, you shouldn't be playing a false 9 with 2 number 10s either. Good interception by Yoro and a free kick. Yeah, Yoro's had a good game as well. Yeah, good interception that. Maguire's looks a bit slow. Kay Smithy, thanks for subscribing. And Hawker as well. Appreciate that. Kay Smithy says, best of luck for the new season. Your quality entertainment, weather, whatever the weather. Thanks for the laughs. Well, I'd replicate it, but you might be a Liverpool fan. Thank God we didn't buy Keane. He's terrible. Oh, Moises Keane says Big Al. Yeah, I didn't want Moises Keane. Have you seen videos of you reacting to disabled people playing football and conceding goals? I have seen those clips. I mean, obviously, I can't really comment on them. Suffice to say, they're very creative. Look, I think it's the, yeah. TikTok's a creative place. Faris says, I feel like Mbeumo and... Lovely ball. Mbeumo and Ahmad are the same type of player. I wonder if he would try Mbeumo as a right-sided player. D-Matt and S. Kingsley, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that. Oh. What changes can we make? Well, Mazraoui and Xerxes are still injured, as is Onana. I think Onana will be back for the Arsenal game. I don't think it matters so much if you haven't had a pre-season. That was good play between Bruno and Ahmad. Now we switch the play. Good news, Kay Smithy is not a Liverpool fan. He's just a fan of the game and the stories. How are you finding FC 26? I haven't played loads of it. I have the beta. I'm doing a little bit of a career mode. And I'm hoping it means that I can just hit the ground running when the proper game comes out and do a bit of streaming. That's a bad ball, but it wasn't by us. It's intercepted by Dorgu into Maguire. Don't go long. Into Bruno. Don't go long. Goes long. Good pass, though. Ahmad, lots of space. Into space. All left foot. See, I do sort of agree a right-footed player might work better as a right wing-back. I don't think it really matters. I think as a full-back, you need to be naturally that footed. I think as a winger, you can invert more, but as a full-back, I think you do need to be naturally right and left-footed. But it's not always the case. Delo doesn't work. Well, yeah, no, Delo's like not very attacking, is he? Donny says, how far off the starting 11 do you think this team actually is? I mean, I think if we start like this against Arsenal, we're going to have to catch Arsenal cold, aren't we? Bruno running everywhere. Casemiro not at all. Zero balance. Nice ball in behind. And Burmo gets... No, he doesn't get there. Corner. How was De Gea's homecoming? Just tuned in, says B16. Nice and respectful. He got a presentation on the pitch. Stuart Taylor says, our best team should include Sesko, Cunha and Fernandes as attacking midfielders and Burmo as right wing-back, Mainu and hopefully Belieber as a centre midfielder. I'll tell you what I have noticed, Stuart and everybody as well. I've noticed with Bruno playing deep, there's a lot of long balls. There's a lot of balls trying to get in behind. And that kills transition as well. I want to see United in the final third probe. And what we're seeing is just a hell of a lot of counter-attacking and reliance on set pieces. I mean, another chance there. I think it was headed straight at De Gea by heaven. But there's a lot of transitional balls. There's a lot of long balls. And I think that comes from... You know, Bruno loves a Hollywood pass, doesn't he? Devil's Reject, thank you very much for joining with Prime and Football and Pints. Thank you very much as well. I thought we were going to get another penalty there. I really like the interchanging between Ahmad and Mbeumo. Yoro best player by country mile in pre-season. What a talent, says Paul Sweeney. Thank you very much for your super chat. See what I mean again? Lots of long balls. Transition, maybe that's something that Amrim's looking at. You know, these quick transitions. At least we're getting the ball down the right quite a lot. Been a lot better since they scored, to be fair. Mount's cross, crap. How was De Gea's done that one? Meme says no one mentions how Yoro's our brightest talent. I think a lot of people do. Bruno running everywhere. Casemiro not at all. Zero balance is hitting. There is still hesitance to string passes together in the build-up, says Sahaj. Play the early pass, play out of a press. The key is there isn't any flow in our football. Yeah, there's no patterns, is there? There's no like confidence on the ball. Signed Vinicius Junior is final. Have you seen video? I've done that one from Hyans. Marcus says Mbeumo looks fat. Team isn't playing different from last year. We need... Don't know those, thank you. I think Fiorentina are fading out here. Their fitness levels clearly aren't the same as ours. We've definitely been a lot better in the last 20 minutes. A couple of minutes to go to half time. See, this for me is where we should be playing little 5-yard passes and keeping the ball, and we lose it. We always want the long diagonal. That's what we're always looking for. And I want to see us learn to play little triangles and progress the ball. We've got the players to do it. Bruno, Cunha, Casemiro, Mbeumo, Ahmad. They're all capable of playing intricate little passes, but it's just constant. I mean, what's that? I don't know who's hit that, but keep the ball on the ground. Another long ball. Don't have patience, says Sean. Bobster, and it's me, Alex. Thanks for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate it. Right, this is where we need to be a bit patient. Keep the ball. Probe, probe, probe. Better. Go wide. Go wide. Ahmad. Keep it. That needs to stay. What's the point in dinking the ball up for Ahmad? He's too small. Dave says we're looking dangerous from corners with Mbeumo. This is better. Probe. Yoro. John says we always look imbalanced, lazy football. And that's half time. I think that's half time. Yeah, give us your thoughts on the half then. I really want to get into that. 1-1 at half time. Personally, I would throw Obi or Rasmus on the second half. Give us a focal point. We've got no striker playing on the last man. Everybody's dropping in for little intricate passes. I'd like to force Fiorentina's defence back a little bit, which will create more space for Mbeumo and Cunha. It's just very... It's almost like it's so compact because Mount's dropping in, Mbeumo's there, Cunha's there, the fullbacks are running forward, and Fiorentina are pushing up. So our only real threat is the ball over the top from Bruno to chase on. If you put a striker on, they can push the defence back, which will create more space for Cunha and Mbeumo to get into, and we can probe a little bit better. So I would look to do that. I think we're not doing that because we're trying to say to Rasmus, we're not picking you, so you need to leave, which is probably why Mason's playing as a striker or a false nine or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, look, I think we've been better in the last 20 minutes there. I mean, they've had 4 shots, we've had 5, 2 on target to their 1, 60% possession to 40%. So midfield, again, just can't get hold of a game. But it's not about not getting a hold of a game because you're not tackling. It's also about not getting hold of the game because you don't hold on to the ball. Like, realistically, 60% possession to 40%, we should be at 70-30 the way that game was going. And that makes me think, why aren't we 70-30? Because we're not holding the ball. And as Midnight Sensitivity says, midfield is killing our progression. We need to get the ball and look after the ball. As I said, I think with Bruno in the midfield, he's looking for that long ball all the time. And I feel like I'm stuck in a hamster wheel here. Like, I feel like I've spoken about Bruno about this for years. You can't have possession if you keep hitting risky long balls, because if I'm Rodri, I'm going to have 92% pass completion because when I get the ball, I play a pass I know it's going to get there. And Rodri doesn't pass backwards, he passes forwards. But with Bruno, especially if he's going to be in the midfield, we're giving up possession because he's looking for that wonder ball over the top to Mbeumo. And what happens is Mbeumo nearly gets it, but they get it. And then the possession's gone. But it surprises me that it passes manager to manager to manager. Like, it happened with Ollie, it happened with Ten Hag, it's happening with Amorim. There is no relationship between the defence, the midfield and the attack. We don't look fluid. We don't look like a team. Everything looks like you never know what's going to... I've mentioned this before. If you watch Arsenal or you watch Man City or you watch Villa or you watch Liverpool, which I do, you know how they're going to play. You know what they're going to do. But I watch Man United more because it's my team. And I never know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. I don't recognise patterns of play. I suppose that's what I'm trying to say. I don't recognise, like, for the next 10 minutes, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get the ball out wide to Salah. He's going to probe a little bit. There'll be an overlap from Trent. There'll be a good cross in. You know, I don't know what we're going to do. We don't build those patterns of plays. We're not identifiable. And that can work to our advantage at times because we're unpredictable. But you can also substitute the word unpredictable for disorganised. And this is something that Amrim knows and he's trying to work on. But obviously it is a problem. I didn't get the opportunity to watch any pre-season games. The main difference I see is much more creativity and improvement out wide. Everything else looks the same to me, says Fart Smeller. With Martinez and De Ligt, Yoro needs to push and work with Mainu and Agate. Bruno behind the front three, simple passes. A man can only dream. Yeah, look, Bruno's going to play in the midfield. He's our captain and arguably our best player, Ryan. I'd just like him to just play a simple pass, you know? I think it's such a waste. And even Amrim said this. It's such a waste. Amrim said this. It's such a waste for Bruno to be hitting long balls over the top instead of feeding it into Cunha. Amrim literally said having Bruno in the midfield feeding Cunha is going to be so good. And I haven't seen a lot of that. Like, you've got to feed Cunha with his back to the midfield, and then he'll turn into the space and he'll go. And that's the big thing about Cunha. Get the ball into his feet, he'll spin and he'll go. And, you know, that's something we haven't seen enough of yet. We've got to feed these talents that we're bringing in. There's no point in hitting long balls over the top like we have done for the last 2 years and relying on Rashford or Garnacho or Anthony or Mbeumo or Cunha to sprint onto it. It didn't work 2 years ago and it won't work now. Got to change the way we're playing. These long diagonals, they don't work. These balls in behind, they don't work. You've got to play to your strengths. And Mbeumo was a good player at Brentford, not because of long balls over the top. Cunha was a good player at Wolves, not because of long balls over the top. Get the ball into their feet quickly. Create space for them by moving the ball quickly. And again as well, that speed and tempo needs to go up. How many times did we see people get the ball and hold on to it for too long? Or get the ball and have a look? You know, you've got to move the ball quickly. These are genuinely important things that we need to do. Amrim needs to have a word with Bruno about that, says Alex. But look, you know, we're talking about Bruno because he's playing in the midfield, and the midfield is the huge problem that we have at Manchester United at the moment. What I do want to do is just use FOTMob for a moment, and we can go through the individual players here. Let me get it onto the screen for you. Don't tell Cameron, he'll have a right moan. So if I go to matches, Manchester United, Fiorentina. We've already looked at the stats, so I want to go to lineup. I mean, their midfielders are the two best players on the pitch at the moment, which is interesting, according to FOTMob. But look, Bruno's one of our... Casemiro is one of our best players. Yoro, I agree, 6.8. But let's have a quick look at Bruno. I guarantee his stats are good. 91% is good. Accurate crosses, no. Accurate long balls, 75%. Tackles won, none. Recoveries, 4. Let's have a look at Casemiro. 88%. Ground duels, 1, 2. So this is what I mean about stats. They're interesting, but what about Cunha? 23 touches. Passes into the final third, 1. Accurate passes, 88%. There was something else I wanted to have a quick look at. Stats. Yeah, we've played 12 long balls to their 9. And they're winning a lot more duels than us, 57 to 43. Ground duels won, 57 to 43. Aerial duel won, 58 to 42. And we're not dribbling the ball. That's such a shame we're not dribbling the ball. Come on, Charlton. Oh, bloody Wrexham are winning against Southampton. That's a bloody good result, isn't it? Southampton just been relegated and Wrexham are winning there. Salford are winning as well. Oh, Gary Neville will be loving that. Got the money now. They got the money. There we go. Yeah, that's Spot Mob. Check it out. Just we can use that. Just trying some new things out for the season. Right, we need a striker. Mount ain't good enough. Well, we've got a striker on the bench. We're just not using him. What do you think about Chelsea next season, says Kaz? Top 4. Top 4 is what I think about Chelsea next season. Cunha was dispossessed no times. That's a big difference between him and Garnacho. A mild breeze knocked him over, says Slazy. At least Mainu and Agate doesn't play stupid long balls repeatedly. By playing long balls, we convert our possession to second balls, says Anil. We need a striker. Mount ain't good enough, says Dos. Hi, Mark. I feel that Casemiro, Bruno and Maguire should be replaced. Who would you replace them with if we sold them? Belieber. I don't think Maguire needs to go at the moment. Crying out for an agile midfielder, says Jack. 77. In the first 30, when we played short and quick with one-touch passes, Ahmad and Burmo couldn't hold possession. Long balls came after that, says Lake on the Moon. They need to trust their teammates into feet, says Cameron. And I want to see Man United challenge Liverpool, says Nathan. I just, look, maybe let's be real. We're Manchester United fans. We expect the world because we're Manchester United. But I did expect, after what is effectively 5 weeks of pre-season, to see better patterns of play. And I think it comes down to the biggest problem is the midfield. Like, we don't have a midfield. And this is why the midfield is so important, because you want to see patterns of play, but it's like the centre of a donut. Like, if you like donuts and the middle filling you don't like, you're going to bite around the edge of it. And that's not, you know, it's never going to be good, is it? Like, and I think that we're trying so many combinations in the midfield, but you're not going to get the patterns of play when the defence has to go through the midfield to get to the attack, which is probably why we look best down the wide. Because if you go down the wide, you don't have to use the midfield. But we're not utilising Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo. I'm sorry, we're not utilising them in that game. The best we've seen of Cunha is when he works with Dorgu, and the best we've seen of Mbeumo is when he works with Ahmad. But we're not utilising them centrally. We're not. I mean, even Mount's played a couple of good passes, but he's living on crumbs. I mean, I'll be fair to Mason Mount. I said it about Cunha in the game against Everton. He's in the graveyard shift. So, I mean, Mason Mount shouldn't be playing there anyway, but he is in the graveyard shift. We're not utilising our front three. That's 3 players. And I still don't think we're utilising our 3 centre-backs. We're overloaded at centre-back. We're overloaded up front. And we're not knitting them together. I really do want to see Yoro stepping forward more. I think it's so important because the midfield just gets overloaded. I want to see Man United challenge Liverpool, says Nathan. Don't we all? I believe that we need to get Belieber over the line. We have new additions in the attack. Our back line is solid when healthy. I know we need a new goalkeeper, but I feel like having Belieber will make a huge difference. Oh, 100%. 100%. Good day from Australia, Mark. Slow start, but improve with some good movement in around the box. Just need that target man. Bring on Sesko, says Neptune. He can't play today. If people watch the match without watching you, they won't be moaning about Bruno. He's done nothing wrong, says BJ. So BJ, you're basically saying that people can't think for themselves. You're going to be popular at parties. It can't go on like this, says Ross. Tobby, thank you very much for your comments. Now seeing why the manager loves Mount. He's a cracking player when he's on his game, says DK. I don't know what you're seeing, mate, but fair play. That pattern of play will be in Mbeumo, Ahmad and Sesko, says Ahmed. And I think the builders at Carrington left wet concrete in their boots, says Lee the Red. Unpopular opinion, but I don't like Ahmad as a right wing back. A few people have said that, Ghost92, but I think we really got him back into the game in the last 20 minutes. I thought he had a good last 20 minutes to that half. We've had a pre-season now, but still look like strangers on the pitch, says Garrett. And Marim's loyalty to players like Mount and reluctance to make changes may cost us. Who's your standout player in the first half, says Ollie. I think that got a Mini Minter raid. What a legend. Didn't even know Mini Minter went live on Twitch. Love that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The interesting thing about I think Yoro was probably our best player in that half. But I do like Dorgu as well. Yeah, I do like Dorgu as well. So 1-1 here at half time. Manchester United did finish the half stronger. Just been notified here of a tweet. Okay, it's nothing major. Don't worry about that. Has Sesko had any pre-season at right back? Sorry, I've just. I thought people were taking the piss. We actually have been raided by Mini Minter on Twitch. So, but I love Mini Minter. He's a lovely lad. I really enjoyed interviewing him at Baller League. Just a really nice lad. So, and he's a very nice lad for raiding our stream as well. So appreciate that. If you've just come over from there, what was he doing on there? I'm only getting back into Twitch stuff, and I used to do Grand Theft Auto playthroughs at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and Zerka used to be always on, and I used to either raid to him or Pieface at that time. It was opening Tops cards. There we go, Rian. Thank you very much. I thought people were taking a piss. I didn't realise he actually was, but I've just seen that we've gone up in viewers. So thank you everybody who came over. He's just reacting to videos. There we go. Legend. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We're watching Manchester United against Fiorentina at Old Trafford. It's 1-1 at half time. And I think Lenny Yoro was probably our best player in that half. But we're still struggling with the old rhythm, aren't we? Bruno is our best and worst player simultaneously. I think that comment works on so many levels because I think it's true, Jeff. It's my birthday, says Caleb. Happy birthday. I was hoping for a big match. That's the big thing I've noticed. What made Ahmad so great were his take-ons and drives. Same with Mbeumo and Cunha. None of that this game, says Caleb. Well, it said on FOTMob that we haven't actually had... we're about to start the second half here. It said on FOTMob that we haven't actually had any dribbles in that game, which surprises me. But let me get the timer up and running here. Thanks everyone who's watching on Twitch, by the way. You can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. I think the link is in the chat there, or I'll pin it again in a moment. Let me just get the game started. Fiorentina to kick off. No changes for Man United at half-time. Wouldn't have expected those a week out from Arsenal. You've got to start giving players 60, 70 minutes. There's a sprinkler that's just come on. Are we going to start the game? We're still waiting. Still waiting. And away we go. Lovely stuff there. Vortex, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that, pal. Thank you very much. LeBron says there's a picture of Mbeumo's belly. It's got to be sure. It's surely photoshopped. Look, Mbeumo used to play for Brentford. I don't know what his body shape's like, but he's a bloody good footballer. Juju, thanks for subscribing. Free kick given up by Man United here. Bev says, I'm from Ethiopia and we need a proper midfielder if you want to compete. Juju says, can you still subscribe with Amazon Prime? Yes, you've just done it, mate. Cross, that's a bloody good cross that is by Fiorentina. Good block by United. I thought they were going to... I tell you what, that cross was so good. You just expected a Fiorentina player to get on the end of it, but they didn't. And we've got a foul, got an injury here to... Oh, shit, it's Man United player. Yoro. It looks like it's facial, so he should be okay, hopefully. Yeah, he got the ball in the face. So he should be okay. Painful one, but oh god, yeah, it's a knockout. Smack on the nose. He'd be okay. Do you think Wrexham and Birmingham get promoted? I think Birmingham will get promoted, yeah. Adamano, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Thank you, pal. Yeah, he's absolutely fine. Just the ball to the face. Where were you, Greg? Lucas Bond, thank you very much for subscribing as well. Are you planning on doing the weekly EPL podcast again once the season starts? I've never done an EPL podcast, Nath. What are you talking about? You've dreamt it. And Burmo just doesn't look right, very sluggish. Well, he didn't get a pre-season, Russell. So it might be something to do with that. A bit of a sluggish start to the second half by Man United, though. Again, old habits die hard. We were on top at the start of the first half. Oh, they've hit the bar! They've hit the Denver, Fiorentina. We were on top at the start of the end of the first half. Second half, and they're on top again. Martin B90, thanks for subscribing. Yeah, cross comes in. I mean, bloody hell, Sesko didn't even jump there. He just muscled off Heaven. Good feet by Keane. No, it wasn't even Sesko. It came off the back of one of their players. Not a great start to the second half, says Squid. No. No, definitely not. Well, I think there was a great point there. It's probably... I'll see if I can read it out to you because I don't want to claim it. Although I could claim it and come across as a hipster, but... Mark, you need to get back on Twitch playing games. Well, as I said, I've got a beta code for EAFC 26, so I definitely will be back playing it. And I am... Oh, God, they nearly scored again. They're all over us like a rash. Why not standing up, Mark? I stood up at the start, JB, and my legs started to hurt. Hurry up and go to Old Trafford right now and keep David there. Bring Beth as muscle. It's your duty, says Nigel. Yeah, good block by Dorgu and Heaven. It's on MUTV Ace Crypto. That's football podcast with Will, says Nath Footy. Oh, yeah, that's not coming back. No, we finished that at the end of last season. Yeah, somebody just said in the chat, and they're very true, Fiorentina are swamping the midfield and giving up the width. Does Sesko change everything? I think if you put Rasmus up front or Obi up front or Sesko up front, it changes the way we're playing. I don't like this front three at all. There's no focal point to it. Goat Melbourne, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. How can we have 3 creative number 10s and still have a graveyard shift? That's a good interception by Mount. It's either a system or coaching issue. I would put Agate at centre-back to help the midfielders, Liam. I think that's an intelligent point, though. You could put a... wild by Bruno. You could put a midfielder into the back three and get them to step into the midfield. Like, you could do that. I've seen teams do that over the years. It was Roman K who said that Fiorentina are overloading the centre and leaving the sides empty. And Soy says, I'm not convinced Bruno plays this position. I just don't like it. Don't see it helping. Casemiro's plays better back there with Agate. Thank you. Minty, thank you very much for subscribing. Can you summarise what Amram is trying to achieve tactically? We won't cross when wide. We don't dribble. How are we meant to be creating chances, says Free Immortal. I think it's a very good question. 1 Inch Wonder says, why are Man United's defence consistently poor in the air? Ronnie's Gaming, thank you very much for being a member for 31 months. I think my honest assessment of Manchester United is that our tactic is transitional, i.e. counter-attack, which is exactly what Eric Ten Hag ended up doing. Jeffrey says, Mount's been impressive today. Impressive at what? He's the striker. What's he been impressive at? I disagree. I think he's done okay when he's had the ball, but he's actually playing up front, mate. Like, what is he actually done? How many chances have we actually created? Like, he's had a couple of interceptions that have been good, and he's played a couple of passes, but we're not playing very well against Fiorentina. I disagree that he's played well. I don't think we've played well as an attacking element. I think he's made a couple of good passes, he's made a couple of good interceptions, and he showed great energy, but I think we lose sight of the fact of what's actually good. We can't play football when we lose the ball. I mean, look, Mbeumo's not been good. Cunha's not been good. Like, we need to be better than this. Here's Ahmad, bit of space onto his left foot, shoots. We can't play football when we lose the ball at will. Bruno played a diagonal out of the park under no pressure from our halfway line, says Anil. Anyone thinks that we're going to finish top 10, you're having a laugh, says Kieran. Whole pre-season and we're still crap. Formation stinks. We need 2 midfielders, not 1. Yeah, just to go back to that comment about what we're doing, it feels like it's very counter-attacking to me. Yeah, I can't play the beta of FC26 on stream. I'll get banned. Yeah, you can't do screenshots, you can't do video clips, otherwise it gets taken off you, so I'm not going to do that. Do you think the formation's the problem? I think the players struggle with the formation. I think we're still struggling with the formation, but we brought in a manager that plays this formation. It's not a surprise. So you need to build the players. You need to bring the players in that can play the formation, don't you? Surely. That's obvious. Yeah, I don't think that was a penalty. See, another long ball over the top. And Burmo. Yeah, he shoots. A lot of people want to shoot, don't they? Wide again. Here's Ahmad. Has to come onto his left foot. And yeah, doesn't make the cross. And again, Yoro goes for a goal kick. Look, it's pre-season. You can forgive the scrappiness. But you might want to see a little bit more. It's very congested in the midfield. A lot of people talking about the system, saying it's not going to work in the Premier League. I've said this before, and I think it's worth repeating it. The system is not the problem, and I don't know why people keep talking about it, because it was the system that was the problem with Ten Hag. And it's the system that's the problem with Amorim. And it's not the system that's the problem. It's the players that can't play the system. You're telling me that if you gave Amorim Liverpool's players, they'd play this shit. They'd play the system better because they're better players. We can't, you know, a lot of these players got Ten Hag sacked in a 4-3-3. And that's what people forget. That it's the players. They can't do it. Most of these players played for Ten Hag at the start of last season and got him the sack. They couldn't play a 4-3-3. So let's not say it's the system, because that's ignorant. That makes out that if you go to a 4-3-3, these players will be fine, but they weren't fine under Ten Hag. It's the players. The players can't do it. It makes me laugh that people say it's the system and we need to go back to a back four, but they got a manager the sacked doing that. Where I would agree a little bit is that you could construct a better midfield. Like, you know, if you're going to play this system, you've got to put two powerhouses in the midfield, which is why he wants Belieber. So you can say it's the system, but he wants Belieber. And Belieber would be a solution in this midfield. There's another Fiorentina player down here, but we're not going to stop the play. Bruno. Put Mount next to Bruno. I wouldn't mind that if he's got the legs. Oh, good shot there from Cunha. That's good to see. System will never work. I like Ruben, but I can see another 6-0 thrashing from Liverpool, etc., says Yarkez. Scary to think that people are thinking like that. Adam says if we had Belieber in the midfield, it wouldn't be a problem. Look, I think, to be stereotypical, this midfield is crying out for Kante. Prime Kante. But what midfield isn't, I know. But I know you can't say you're going to have a prime Kante because he's generational. But you need that type of a player, which is why we're looking for Belieber. I think if you had a Declan Rice in that midfield, it would help. It's that, you know, an Alexi McAllister. These types of players, Caicedo, would be really good in a midfield too. But Casemiro at the end of his career and Bruno who's a number 10, it's almost like... It's like when we played Carrick and Fletcher at centre-back under Sir Alex. It feels a little bit like that. It's like... But then you realise that's actually our pre-season. It's not an injury crisis at Christmas. It's not a one-off at Christmas. That actually is our midfield a week out from the start of the season. Bruno's a number 10 and Casemiro's at the end of his career. It's scary that that's our midfield. And I don't really blame Casemiro and I don't blame Bruno. I like Bruno and I like Casemiro, but you can be honest and say that midfield is scary a week out from the start of a new season. And the scary thing for me is Agate played bad in the last game. Mainu's never been near the team under Amorim. So opening game against Arsenal, it's surely going to be Casemiro and Bruno with a week to go. Unless we can get Belieber in. Very concerned about the depth in the team overall, says Ryan. I think we've got good depth at defence. I think we've got good depth in the number 10. But we'll never get the best out of the defence in the number 10s if we don't have a midfield. And that's where we're struggling. Midfield and goalkeeper are going to be the key to the rest of this team. Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko, really good signings. But you don't necessarily see it until you watch us play. But we do need... The thing that's going to knit this together is going to be the midfield, isn't it? Fiorentina are making subs. I wish we would. I wish we bloody would. Just while they're doing that, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the player ratings on FOTMob. Our player rating system will be back next week. So, FOTMob 1-1, 63 minutes gone, lineup. Casemiro's man of the match, apparently. Which is, yeah. But their midfield, I mean, that to me tells you the story. I'd say Casemiro's probably man of the match based on he's probably paid a few successful passes, etc. But that's the real story. And that's going to be the problem every fucking game. The opposition's midfield are the best players on the pitch because they're dominating us. I feel sorry for Mount, I feel sorry for Mbeumo, and I feel sorry for Cunha because they're just graveyarding it. Possession's coming down as well. It was 60% at half-time. They've had the two big chances. We've had none. Big chances missed for them, one. Let's have a look at the physical side of it. Yeah, they're still dominating in the ground duels, the aerial duels. Interesting to see that at the end of the game. I hope we can make some subs. Yes, I agree. We've had... No, I've not had 70 minutes yet, so hopefully he is going to make some subs soon. Maguire can be the central centre-back. Can't be the central centre-back, says Akil. He's too slow to step up. Would you play Martinez as CDM? Played there sometimes for Ajax. No, I'd play him at left-sided centre-back and ask him to step into the midfield. Give us some bloody numbers in there. We'll have some similar Ronaldo's returns next season. Individual brilliance wins some games, but lacking team play, relying on long balls, says Martin. Do you believe in life after love? Says Nathan. Share. Very concerned about the depth in this team, says Ryan. The system will never work. That was from Yarkaz. Very excited about Yoro in heaven. They've got big futures, says 1 Inch Wonder. Couldn't open a bag of crisps with this lot, says Daz. Fiorentina on the attack again. I mean, the scary thing is they could actually score over the bar. Couldn't open up a bag. Mount starting versus Arsenal, way sharper than Mbeumo, says Anthony. I don't think that's a bad shout. Mbeumo, we're really not getting the best out of him, whether it's sharpness or whatever. Sell Bruno and buy Belieber and Donnarumma, says the Wheelbarrow. We can't play football when we lose the ball at will. That was from Anil. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for your super chats today, by the way. Need a midfielder of Mainu and Belieber, says Sean Kelly. And Manicanian's gifted another 5 memberships. Absolutely, thank you very much. Love Casemiro, but we just won't progress with him starting, says SK. And we need a midfield. Nunez is better than Mbeumo, says Game. Okay. Hello, Mark. You all right? Can't wait in the game. What? Can't wait in the game. How's my goat David doing, says Fuge. I mean, to be honest, De Gea's done okay, but he's not been tested. I actually thought De Gea was going to be really busy, and he really hasn't had that much to do at all. which is disappointing on 2 levels. One, I'd like to see him just have a worldy game. And 2, it's worrying about the fact that we're not really testing a Fiorentina goalkeeper. I mean, remember, Fiorentina are not that good. They lost in the Conference League semi-finals to Betis, and they were playing in the Conference League. Here's Bruno, good ball. Right, here we go. Mbeumo, come on. No, overplayed it. Overplayed it. I know we need a striker, but why did we not sort our midfield out first, says Shane. Here's Maguire. Shoot! Shoot! Good shot, De Gea. He was right to shoot there. Sod passing. Don't pass. Shoot. Here's Dorgu. Bruno. No. That goes out for a throw-in. Come on, let's get some subs on. Ben Thornley doesn't understand the offside rule. He thought it was just your feet that counts as offside, says Rasmeister. I take it he's on MUTV. Yeah, not a bad shot by Maguire. Straight at De Gea and he deals with it, but... Squid says Camavinga would be so good in our system. I think we could all name 40 midfielders that would be good in this team. Just need to get one. Be a step forward. Heavy touch by Cunha. Goes for a throw. Amrin, make some fucking subs, mate. It's pre-season. We're not playing well. Make some subs. Good play by Cunha. Yeah, really good play by Cunha. Oh. I thought that was a good pass, but ends up with a Fiorentina player. I don't want Will Hughes, no. Jimmy. We don't want Will Hughes. I think Sesko will play against Arsenal, yeah. Tell you what, Cunha's last 3 passes have gone to Fiorentina players. I'll tell you what. Good recovery by Bruno because they were in there. Back post again. Who's marking on that back post? SK said, did I just see a fridge do a Cruyff turn? If you're calling Maguire a fridge, you should need to learn your lesson. He's as good as Yamal on the wing. He can play anywhere. Don't be shocked. Just appreciate the game. Heaven's down again. He does pick up a few knocks, but he's still very young. People forget that. Amrin, make some bloody subs, please. I mean, it's pre-season. We haven't played well. I would like to see Mainu on. I would like to see let's put a striker up front. Maybe Obi. Playing without a striker is painful to watch. I'm struggling to see patterns. I hate playing without a striker. I'm just so happy that we've got Sesko, because if we didn't have Sesko, the thought of us playing Cunha or Mount or Mbeumo as a striker against Arsenal depresses the shit out of me. Every match is totally different tactics. Amorim is trying things. Do you agree? This match, I can see that Bruno's had few contributions with the ball, unlike other roles past matches. What do you think? Says YM3. I think it's great that you think we're trying different things. I don't think we're trying different things. I think we're trying to still play the way he wants to play. I think the only game that we've played well in pre-season out of 5 now is Bournemouth. And I think we're still struggling to settle down under his tactics. Tanai says we're going to get raw dogged by Arsenal. Don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound nice. There we go. Mainu's coming on. That's good. Delo, Shaw, Delit, and Mainu. I tell you what, he's definitely fucking selling Rasmus, isn't he? He's definitely selling Rasmus. If he's not bringing him on for 20 minutes, he's basically saying, get out. Casemiro's coming off. Maguire's coming off. And Mbeumo's coming off. And I'd imagine Mount will come off because he never plays 90 minutes, but you never know. Might be Ahmad. Hi from Puerto Rico, Mark. I don't know if you already answered this, but do you think Sesko will start against Arsenal? Well, I think he will, Mr. J. Lopez, because we need a striker to play in that game. And we haven't got, I mean, we're still not using a striker. I mean, if you don't want to use Rasmus, just put Obi on. So Cunha's up front now. Mount's gone to left number 10 and Ahmad's gone to right number 10. Delo and Shaw go into the defence and Mainu goes next to Bruno. Well, I'm glad about that. I'm glad to see Mainu in the team. Jack Ladd says Southampton might have just scored goal of the season. I'll check it out. So 15 minutes to go. We've made a few subs. Can we at least finish pre-season with a win? Have a look on FOTMob. So yeah, Southampton 1-1. I mean, that's a bit unlucky for Wrexham. Wrexham and Birmingham both playing newly relegated teams as newly promoted teams in the Championship. Ipswich got a last-minute penalty to equalise against Birmingham, and Southampton have just scored a last-minute free kick to equalise against Wrexham. Welcome to the Championship. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner to do that. We are currently very close to 142,000 on YouTube. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Thank you very much. What do I think about Rasmus? I'm relaxed. I mean, I want to keep him because I think we need 2 strikers, and I think we've seen again today that the plan of using false nines or Xerxes or Mounts or Cunhas doesn't work. But it's very obvious that they're trying to force him out. He doesn't want to go. They don't want to use him. He's going to have to go. And we're going to have to hope that it works just having one proper striker in Sesko. Ella says, I'm on the train. How's the match been? Typical pre-season game, you know. I say it every year. I look forward to pre-season, but when it's over, you just have to sort of say, it really doesn't mean anything. Dorgu. Oh. Good play by Fiorentina through our press. I tell you what, if I know Ricky like I think I do, he'll be loving Bruno's game today. He'll be all over it. He'll say, I'm telling you now, that's why I love Bruno. If you want to subscribe on Twitch, by the way, you can do it through Amazon Prime still. I'll drop the link for free. I don't know why it won't let me pin it for longer, but it normally does. Noah says, what's the advantage of loaning Rasmus? 8 million quid? It doesn't seem worth it, really. Ahmad haircut is disgusting, says Hyans. Well, it's his hair. Let him do what he wants. That's what I say. Hi, Mark. Currently on the train, done that one. Vardy, says Dan French. Favourite movie, says Calamantis. Probably Heat. There are fans thinking we'll challenge for the title after signing Sesko. Wait for them to turn on Amorim out chants when they see us struggling. Mate, those Amorim out chants are there. Like, they're there. Foggy Do, thank you very much. Thanks for subscribing. Amorim getting sacked by Halloween, says it's just Sebastian. Amorim's getting sacked by Halloween. That's how it would work. Hi, Mark. It's not, to be honest, not bad. Not a bad little chant, that. Apart from the fact that I absolutely hate it. Eden says, I'm concerned. What are we actually doing? Well, we have got a match reaction, and I'm sort of thinking, Poison 3K, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. I'm probably going to play a bit of EAFC 26 after this. I can't stream it. I would do, but I can't. I'll tell you what, there's something going on in the chat. Let me have a look. Look at that. Southampton 2-1. To be confirmed who scored it. 90-minute equaliser. Wrexham. Swimming, Deadpool, not swimming pool. He's going to be gutted. 2-1. Let's have a look at the player ratings. See, Bruno's gone up to a 7. How do they do the player ratings on FOTMob? Are they voted for by the players? Are they voted for by... I don't know. I just missed a good chance. Good play between Bruno and Mount, and Cunha should have scored. I need to stop playing on FOTMob here. Yeah, Southampton beating Wrexham from 1-0 down in 90 minutes. Headed straight at De Gea there. Ugarte central in the back three. Is that possible, says Almarino? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to sticking a midfielder into the defence and getting them to step out. Might reread your book again. More fun than this crap. And MUTV doing us a favour, making it blurry. Don't want to see this anyway, says Warwick. We haven't been great, but the negativity in the chat is annoying. Fitness, more signings and further training to come. Trust the process, says 1 Inch Wonder. How many seasons till we win the Prem again, says Jake. I ain't answering that question. Just should have put any striker. We've had so few positions where Dorgu Ahmad could cut across, says SK. No need to play Bruno every minute of every game, says Enjoy Life. Well, welcome to the world of that. Mainu needs to play. We need his power, says Robin. Thank you very much, Robin. Still 10 minutes to go. Suvik says, stop the agenda and watch the match. Literally spent the last 80 minutes watching it, and I don't know what agenda you're talking about because it's oblivious to me. I don't have an agenda against anybody, so I love to see more. Dimitri says this is a really positive performance. I'm glad you're happy with it, mate. I really haven't said that much negative other than the fact that I don't enjoy watching us play football. I still don't see any patterns of play. It's pre-season. I'm not going to panic. I don't think we'll lose to Arsenal next week. I know that sounds ridiculous to some, but I don't think we will lose. Woke up. How's the game been? Says Michael. Just like that. A bit like Everton last week. Just a bit like that, really. Unorganised, as Martin would say, is what I would say. Disjointed. Agate coming on. For Mount. You can't take Bruno off. Those are the rules. You can't take Bruno off. It's impossible. Whether it's a pre-season, a kick around the park, you cannot take him off. Man of the match. I don't know, but there was a guy in the background yawning there behind Delo, and yeah, I want to get the season started now. I couldn't watch another pre-season game. Femi says, is Rasmus leaving confirmed? Oh, mate, 100%. 100%. To not give him a minute when you haven't got a striker, that is... I wish we'd treated Onana and Casemiro like this. That's all I would say. Because I'm not against it. If you don't want a player, don't pick them. Force them out. I just wish we'd done it to Onana and Casemiro as well. Hi Mark, if we have another poor season, what are the chances of a possible Glazer sale? I don't think we'll have a poor season, Bay. I still think we're going to be... I still think we'll finish in the... I still think we'll get certainly top 8. And I'm not giving up on sort of top 6. Last 2 games we've played no striker and we've been rubbish, says the wheelbarrow. Well, it'll be interesting to... I mean, they've only got 5 minutes, Agate and Mainu, but it'll be interesting to see if we get hold of the midfield a little bit better. A little bit more energy. Good save, Binder. And he was offside anyway. Keane. If we somehow do get Belieber, what would be your ideal lineup, Mark, says Seb? Well, it's not going to be my ideal lineup. It's going to be Amrim's lineup. He'll put Belieber next to Bruno, basically. Sesko behind Cunha and Mbeumo. Ahmad on the right. that's what we will do. I mean, I called the last game reality check. It can't be reality check again. Oh, De Gea's going off. Gets that's a nice touch. Gets applauded off, which is a nice touch by Fiorentina and for United fans to give him the send-off he deserves. Did De Gea play well? Says MTS Quizzle. I don't think he was really tested that much, to be fair. Yeah, there is a match reaction after this. I'm just, I was struggling for a title on it. That's what I was just doing there. Still could get a late winner though. Cross coming in. No. No, overhit the pass. If you had to describe this game with one word, let me know your thoughts. I mean, I've said nothing's changed, but I think there's a better word than that. Who scored, says Abok. I think it was an own goal. Some people were saying it was Yoro, but I genuinely think it was an own goal. People are saying crap. Somebody saying abysmal, unorganised, boring. They're on the attack, Fiorentina. And he shoots wide. I mean, it's hold on, they're on the attack here. I'm just a little bit worried because there's 10 seconds to go and he's probably going to blow very quickly. I don't think he'll add much on. Ball draws, says Frank. Yeah, bang on 90 minutes. He ends the game. Look, it's the conclusion of pre-season, and it's pre-season. I think the context is it's pre-season. You can't run away on positives. If we'd won every pre-season game 4-0, people would say we're going to win the league. If we lost every pre-season game 4-0, people would say we're going to get relegated. We've not lost a game in pre-season. We've drawn 3 and we've won 2. So we're unbeaten. But look, I'll talk about on the match reaction. There were certain things I wanted to see in pre-season. Have we hit those? I think that's the interesting thing. Apparently there's a penalty shootout. Apparently there is a penalty shootout. Well, we'll stay. I've got a match reaction after this, but we've got a penalty shootout. Penalties. La 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 la. I mean, why? I mean, why not, I suppose, but I always think that there's a train of thought that penalties in pre-season prepares you for penalties in a season. They don't. They don't. I mean, it's a gimmick, really. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to have penalties because there's no pressure. It's the Snapdragon Cup. That's why. Okay, it's a cup. Okay. What shirt is that, Mark? It's one of the United Stand designs. You can get it from United Stand Shopify. We've got a few new ones out for the season. They should have kept Fiorentina keeper's not too bad, says Sam. How much does he cost? Well, De Gea won't be in goal for the penalties. Is the penalties the reason Dave went off, says Robert McCormack. He probably didn't realise there was a penalty shootout. Well, it's another way. It's another 10 minutes wasted of your Saturday, isn't it? Without being too negative. John on Twitch says Hoyland didn't get a minute, must be getting sold then. Well, while we're just waiting, if you're on Twitch, thanks everyone who subscribed. You can do that for free through Amazon Prime. It's Twitch, it's linked there. And make sure you give us a follow as well. Thank you very much. We're also we're just waiting for these penalties. It's a penalty shootout, everybody. It's a penalty shootout here at the end of a scintillating Snapdragon Cup final between Fiorentina and Manchester United. They couldn't be split in what will go down as a classic of the ages. And a penalty shootout to decide this amazing game of football today. And we're waiting to see now who's going to step up. The pressure's real. The pressure is going to be huge on these players. There's no doubt about that. And, you know, it's a shame there's got to be a loser because this will impact them for the rest of the season. You know, and lives. It will impact them for the rest of their lives. It's so big. It's huge. It's massive. I'm just going to change the subscriber number on YouTube while I'm waiting. Moises Keane is going to step up here. I mean, God, Bienda's in goal. Bienda's quite good at penalties. We'll win this. I've played the game. We'll win this penalty shootout. And we'll win this Snapdragon Cup. Roar. What does a dragon do? Breathes fire. I wonder how many people were actually at the game decided to stay for the penalty shootout. I think that's always a big one. I'd be like, let's go, beat the traffic, still get a Saturday evening. Right, Moises Keane steps up. Is in a Leeds bar in Sunny Beach, even they cannot believe we haven't played a striker today. Unbelievable, says Jonathan Matthews. Good penalty. Keane, 1-0. Joel says, I think Ahmad and Mbeumo on the right-hand side is the most unbalanced partnership possible, and Delo should partner either one of those. There's definitely, I mean, we'll talk. Look, I want to do the match reaction because there was a few things I said at the start of pre-season that I wanted to see by the end of pre-season, and I'll tell you how many of those we've ticked. Bruno steps up. Bruno doesn't miss. Squirrel's got Fot Mob and he likes it. And Bruno makes it 1-1 because he doesn't miss penalties. He's Bruno Fernandes and he doesn't miss penalties. You could time your watch by him. He's so accurate. Fabrizio says 0 minutes for Rasmus against Fiorentina. Clear message from Man United. The club is prepared to let him leave on initial loan. AC Milan are on it. Well, you know, it's very obvious that, isn't it? Apparently Mason Mount was superb today, according to BHE. It's great that he's got a fan club and that they support him. I thought he was okay. I wouldn't say he's superb. Good penalty. 2-1 Fiorentina. That was a good penalty. I don't know who took it, but it was powerful. Number 4. Yeah, that's how you score penalties, by the way. If you want a tip on penalties, Ben Foster told me this, and it's obvious. High into the corners makes it very hard to save. Can they not just stand on the edge of the box and take the penalties? Because this is taking a long time now. Sojourno, thank you very much for the... subscription with Prime. Cunha, goal! Bottom corner. 2-2. I've played the game, says Harry Jones. Right, I'm being... while we're doing this, what I can do is something else. Player ratings on FOTMob. Third penalty from Fiorentina. Champers. Scores. Bottom corner. Another good penalty. Mason Mount got a 6.3. Same as Mbermo. Cunha got a 6.9. Casemiro got a 7.4. Bruno got a 7.3. And Yoro got a 7.2. Yoro is my man of the match, by the way. De Gea got a 7.3. I need to figure out what they do their player ratings on, to be fair. Third penalty for United. He's one of the leaders from the dressing room. His name is Delo. It's a very central run-up, which I don't like. I don't like people who run straight on. But he's a confident player and he can hit it hard. And he scores. Lovely penalty. 3-3. No one's missed yet. Good penalty. Good penalties all round. Everybody's took a good penalty. Remember, Binder is normally good at penalties. Just left the game. Genuinely worried we could not see any system in place. Amorim wanted a pre-season and got one. Nothing seems to have changed, says John. M's on Binder save watch. Penalty 4 for Fiorentina, and he misses. No, he didn't. Oh, I thought he... What? I thought he'd scored. I thought he'd saved it. How did that not get saved? No, it's just power. It's on 720p. Like, I thought he'd saved that. It's a good penalty. Ahmad. Penalty 4 for United. Squid says, top corners on penalties have the most success rate, but they're also most risky. If you put a ball in the top corner or high in the corner in football, you will score if it's there. Keepers ain't saving them, but there is a risk to it. Oh, Ahmad with a little... I tell you what, Ahmad's brimming with confidence, isn't he? He's absolutely brimming with confidence. A little dink. Got to get the most out of Ahmad this season. Like, he is ready to step up. He's ready to be a big player. You know, you see it in the way he behaves on social media and stuff like that. He's got immense, you know, belief, and you know, those types of players, you've got to utilise them. That's a good save by Binder. That's a good save. Bottom left. To be fair, it's not a great penalty. It was a little bit behind him, but... Who's going to score the winning penalty then? Man Utd. Oh, that's nice. Nice for Man Utd. Little bit of glamour. Putting himself in the... Not the window. Don't want him in the window. Put himself in the spotlight a little bit. Man Utd takes it. And he scores it. We've won the Snapdragon Cup. Who wants some of that then? Shove your Premier League up your arse, Liverpool. Put your Club World Cup down the toilet, Chelsea. PSG, don't even start with your Champions League. The Snapdragon Cup, you'll never win that. What a moment. You know, people moaning about performance and we've just won another trophy. You know, that's 2 trophies in 2 weeks. The way this is going, you know, we're going to dominate the world market of silver because we're winning it every week. Okay. Seriously though, thank God that's over. Fair play, penalty shootouts. It gives us something, I suppose. But look, I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about what we've got out of pre-season. I want to talk about the fact that we play Arsenal next week. Let's get over to it on the match reaction. I'll see you over there in a minute.